there's that for you. And what inspired you to become a teacher, and what motivates you to continue teaching?
My inspiration came from my parents. They were both educators. My mom was an elementary teacher. My dad was a middle school, high school teacher. And I loved hearing their stories every night, their adventures and trials and successes. And it was something that I wanted to do. And so why I continue doing it is for the same reason. Experiencing the trials and successes and embracing the possibility that I could be a positive influence in a kid's life. And so just trying to carry on my parents' legacy.
Okay. You're reading too.
How do you create like a positive environment in your classroom? What like strategies you use to like engage with your students?
Oh yeah, that's a great question. I try to do three things. I try to be positive myself. If my students walk in and I'm kind of drab, I'm not going to create any energy, and so I try to model the behavior I want to see them doing. Two is I try to create assignments that are engaging, contests, anything that where we can take what's in the text and bring it to life. Three is I try to get the group working together. Sometimes ELA can be very isolating, where you just sit and you read and you do your stuff and you go home. And so to try to encourage people to engage with others is big. So those are the three main ones.
All right. And what is your approach to lesson planning, and how do you ensure that what you want to do aligns with the state standards?
So state standards are that's the Bible of our craft, that we are all on the hook to teach that. I'm accountable for that and take that very seriously. But in terms of lesson planning, I take a target and I develop it into something that I think my kids will enjoy or they will grow from. Year to year, I don't use the same plans because my groups are different. And I might keep certain approaches the same, but I take a target, like persuasive writing, and mold it into something that I think the kids will bite on.
Yeah. Right.
Have you ever, can you describe a time where you faced a challenge with a student, and how did you handle it, the student?
Yeah, there have been many. I have a lot of kids who come into 7th grade burnt out on reading or writing, or even a bigger situation, they don't like to speak in front of an audience. And so I don't really want to bring up a specific incident, not incident, but situation, but I can say that I've had a lot of kids dig their heels in when it comes to speaking. And it's my job to try to kind of introduce it to them in small increments so that they realize it's not so bad, and try to lead them towards the end of the year where they feel a lot more comfortable on stage. So yeah, that is an annual battle that I face.
Yeah, and how do you determine a student's success and decide whether or not they did what you want, met the learning objectives?
That's a big question. Good question. Determining whether a student is successful or not, I guess you can look at three things. I like to look at three things. One, obviously, is are they getting 3s and 4s in what we're doing? Two, do they feel more comfortable doing what we're doing? Like, I'll throw out the assignment and they're like, okay, I can do this. And then the last thing is, are they enjoying it? Are they taking and saying, okay, this is something I'm good at, this is something I can do, and I don't have to prod them as much. And so whether it's speaking, reading, or writing. And so I look at those 3 things.
All right. Well, that's it. Thank you.
Thanks, guys. Okay.